In this video, I'm going to be showing you the Amazon Revenue Calculator. Now, the easiest way to get to this, because as you can see, it's a fairly long URL. I think the best way to do it is either to create a bookmark or just go through Google. If you go through Google and you search Amazon, perfect, it comes up usually. This is literally something I search all the time. And then it's always the top result, and it will take you right here to the Amazon Revenue Calculator, which both of these are the same page. So I'm going to go ahead and close one of them. So it's a very, very simple tool to use. And the purpose of this tool is extremely important for our business because it's going to help us to understand a larger portion of the picture of what it's actually going to cost us to sell something on Amazon. Because it's really important that you understand what your fees are, so that you're not just guessing if you're going to make money, because no one wants to be involved in a business like that. So, I always like to find examples that, are nostalgic or stuff. Like, it's always fun for me to go look at stuff from, my pastime. But in order to use the Amazon Revenue Calculator, as you can see, you can use your product name, UPC, EAN, ISBN, or the ASIN number. If it were up to me, I would say just use the ASIN number. When you use some of these other numbers like UPC, a lot of times it will pull up really weird stuff. The most sure way to make sure that you're looking at the exact listing that you're looking at, so you're looking and getting the correct information, is to just use the ASIN number. That's my opinion. You can do whatever you want because it says it does accept those, but in my opinion, I would just use the ASIN number. So if you don't know where that is, as you can see, I just scrolled down below the listing. There's a portion called product information, and it will always have the ASIN number listed there. Or if you're on a Mac, you can use Command F. If you're on a PC, you can use Control F and just type ASIN, and it will pull it up for you on the page. So either way, you need to copy and paste this number, and then you're going to go over to the revenue calculator and you're going to just paste it in here. So when you paste that into the revenue calculator, the other thing that we're going to need is the price. So the buy box price is $22.95. And for some reason, it actually does make you put this in both sides. And the reason it does is because sometimes items that are merchant fulfilled, because they're not in the buy box, you can actually put in a different number for both. So if I sold this merchant fulfilled, what would my sales price be, because you have to include your shipping in that, versus fulfilled by Amazon. So there's really two sides to this tool. Before we get into the numbers, because I've seen this happen, I want to mention it right now because it could happen to you, and don't freak out if it does. Every once in a while, you'll put in an ASIN number and it won't pull up the proper or the correct product. And that's a weird thing when it does happen, but always just do a quick visual check. Like, is that the actual product I was looking at? Sure is, right? We're good to go. Now, I pulled this example up arbitrarily. So, if it does happen to you, don't freak out. Just, it is important that you make sure that you're actually getting information about the right product. So it will give you the package dimensions. It will give you the unit weight. You can click on this and get all the product details. It will take you back to the listing. But the rest of this on here is just stuff that you fill out. So any open box here you can fill out. And there's two sides to this calculator. You have Amazon fulfillment and your fulfillment. And that's pretty self-explanatory. If it's Amazon fulfillment, it means you're using fulfillment by Amazon to sell your product, meaning that they're going to calculate those fees for you. If it's your fulfillment, you have to go in and calculate your costs in here, right? So if it's $22.95, let's pick a price that, let's make it up. Our cost of product, let's just say it's $10 a unit. When you go in here and you click calculate, it's going to pop up a graph and it's going to give you a lot of different numbers on here, right? So it's going to say your shipping is going to be 0, right? Now that might not necessarily be true. Oh, you know what? It gives a box down here for you. So shipping to Amazon. And as a side note here, you can actually hover over any of these items that you want, that you don't understand, and it gives you a pretty simple explanation as to what they are. So any box that's open means that is going to be a fee that you're going to have to pay, right? So even if Amazon's fulfilling your item, they can't fulfill it if it's not there. So you're going to have to come up with your cost to ship to Amazon. Right now, say it's, I don't know, $1 per unit, which would be probably high in this case, but let's just use an easy number so we can keep with simple math. So we bought it for $10. It's going to cost us $1 per unit to get it to Amazon. What does that look like for us? So as you can see here, the first fee on here is selling on Amazon fees. And this used to be, they changed this recently actually in the last year or so. It used to be called a referral fee. I think even I saw that here, yeah. Sell on the marketplace, you pay referral fees and closing fees. So because Amazon is providing a customer to you, they're saying you have to pay us 15% because they're here because of us, not because of you, which really in most cases is true. We know Amazon, third-party sellers account for 50% of Amazon's revenue. Yet if you ask somebody where they bought it from, they just say Amazon, where likely, half of the stuff they buy is coming from someone like you and me. So no matter whether you're selling that merchant fulfilled or fulfilled by Amazon, you have to pay the selling on Amazon fee or the referral fee, right? And you can click that down and saying there's no variable closing fee on this. There's just an Amazon referral fee. Then you have fulfillment by Amazon fees, which is going to be blank over here because they're not fulfilling it. But you can click on this drop-down menu and it will say per month, you're going to pay 3 cents per unit to store this, right? And then the fulfillment fee, meaning we're going to get it to them in 2 days, in a lot of cases 1 day now, and it's going to be $3.28. Now, a lot of people talk about Amazon like those fees are just astronomical. And I would suggest if you want to learn that the hard way, go fulfill a lot of these items yourself. And you're not going to be able to ship this item anywhere in the United States for that same $3.28. It's actually fairly inexpensive. And you can store these at your house for 3 cents a unit, I'm sure. But I don't know how happy your wife would be or whoever your roommates are, whatever it may be, whoever you live with might not like that so much. And I know that because the original thing that I sold, I was only able to sell at merchant fulfilled because I started selling around Christmas, and everything that I was going to send in was just going to be stuck in processing, and I wasn't going to be able to sell anything. So I listed a lot of items in merchant fulfilled, and I was running back and forth to the UPS store. I was, I had stuff all over my basement in 3 different rooms, and it was a little bit of a nightmare. And since then, I've pretty much do as much as I can through fulfillment by Amazon. And if I do merchant fulfilled, I try to do it through a 3PL or a third-party logistics. So let me get back to the video. I don't want to, detract from what we're talking about here. But the idea is you want to know what those fees are exactly, right? And and the last one would be our cost to actually purchase the item. And then it does the math for you really simply. It says your net profit is $5 per unit, which is a 22% net margin. So your ROI is actually pretty high on this because you put out $10. You get back $5.20, meaning, if you give me $10 and I give you back $15.20, you want to do that over and over and over and over again. Now, a lot of people will be confused by what I just said because they're like, well, I have to pay this $3.44 and I have to pay this, $3.31, which is true. You do have to pay these, but it's at the point of sale. So it's never coming out of your pocket. It comes out when you actually sell the item. The only thing that will happen is if you leave your item there long term, you're going to, I think it's 6 months. Don't quote me on that. I don't intend to ever leave my things at Amazon for more than a month. So that's my selling strategy. Do whatever you want. But most of these fees are going to come out at the point of sale. You never actually front the cash. The only thing that you're fronting is this $10, and then whatever it costs you to ship it to Amazon, everything else is going to come out when you sell the product. So you can go over and do some cool things, estimated monthly units sold. Let's say, we're going to sell 100 of these. I don't know. This is just made up numbers, guys, but you can look at it. It's like, if I sell 100 of these a month, I'm going to make, I'm going to have $2,000 of revenue. My net profit's going to be about $1,000, because we have to pay for all those fees. But if you can make money on that, this is where you're going to very simply go and be able to get a lot of information about your product. You can do the same thing on the merchant fulfilled side. You just have to know a couple other things. What is my cost of my fulfillment? You don't really know that because it's going to be different depending on where you have to ship the item. This is the only fee that's going to be constant. And then obviously your product cost would be similar whether you're selling it or fulfilling the item yourself or through Amazon. So again, this is the Amazon revenue calculator. if you want to write this down, whatever, you're welcome to sellercentral.com/this whole thing, or just go to Google, search Amazon Revenue Calculator. It will be the top search, just like I showed you before, and use this to make sure that you're getting all these numbers before you purchase your inventory, because you don't want to get hit with a surprise here and think you're going to make a bunch of money and find out that the item you're selling is really heavy or whatever have you. So these are going to be shipping costs essentially, and fulfillment costs. So use this in your product research. Do it before you purchase your inventory so that you have no surprises and you're going to make money when you pull the trigger.